You play dumb and expose the fool. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, you play dumb and expose the fool. I need somebody to drop in the comments and say, only the intelligent can act like they're not smart. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say only the intelligent can act like they're not smart. All right. Now, what that means is, y'all, is that most times people want to prove a point. Most times people want to prove that they know more than everybody. Most times people cannot play dumb to save their life because they actually are dumb. Okay? It's not an act. This is who they are. But when you take a person who's really intelligent, when you take a person who really have wisdom, when you take somebody who understand the do's and the don'ts, okay, and the ways of how to navigate through our life, they understand that sometimes it's best in life to just straight up observe, learn, and take notes. Observe, learn, and take notes, okay? Family, when you're traveling, this is a great tactic. When you are around people who you don't know, this is a great tactic. When you are in the beginning stages of dating somebody or in the beginning stages of a relationship, these are great tactics that you should use. And the thing is, y'all, you never stop observing, you never stop listening, you never stop paying attention. But as you get to know people more, and I'm talking about of years, all right? I'm talking about of years, you're not going to have to pay attention as much. Never stop paying attention, but you don't got to sit there and watch a person every move because you know them, okay? However, y'all, oftentimes people who feel like they know everything, they don't know nothing because they don't learn, observe, and pay attention. Therefore, people are able to run game on them. People are able to treat them like the fool. People are able to expose them. And this is what you did, y'all. You played dumb, but exposed the fool. Now, we're going to talk about this, y'all, within this video. But first thing is first, y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. Let's go ahead and get right into this, y'all, because this right here is a banger for sure. Number one. This is how you expose the fool, and these are the type of tactics, that you use of playing dumb. But anyway, number one, you being quiet caused them to overtalk, all right? You being quiet caused them to overtalk. So most times, y'all, people are going to tell you who they are. You just have to listen. You just have to pay attention. If a person is a complete idiot, they're going to tell you with their words. All right. If a person is a drug dealer, you're going to know all about it. If a person, and let me add to that, if they are a dumb drug dealer or if they're a fool of a drug dealer, you're going to know all about it. Why? Because this is all they do. They talk. Okay. If a person is a user, you're going to know. What I'm trying to get y'all to realize is when you learn and master how to be quiet, it's going to cause those individuals that you are around to overtalk. You follow what I'm saying? You take, for instance, in a dating situation, courtship, relationship, or even a marriage, right? When you pull back, okay, a person who has something to prove, or a person who's really a fool, or a person who's not really picking up game, they're going to just keep over talking. And before you know it, you're going to realize that they've been trying to plot on you. They've been trying to set you up. They've been using you. They've been abusing you. You're going to know it. How is that, Reno? Because they told you. The problem is, y'all, a lot of us don't listen. Somebody drop in the comments and say listening is paramount. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say listening is paramount. The point that I want y'all to realize is it's the moment you start being quiet, it's going to be the moment you cause them to over talk. And this can come from nervousness, okay, on their behalf. This can come from being anxious, trying to figure you out, or just trying to keep you in a situation that's benefiting them. So they over talk because they don't know what your next steps are. They can't predict you, nor can they figure you out. So it causes them to overtalk. But while they're overtalking, pick up every crumb, pick up every dime, pick up every single piece of information that they're giving you. You follow what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Number two, it shows how much they really know. All right. It shows how much they really know. How many times have you been around a person who was supposed to be a mechanic, but really don't know how to be a mechanic, but they just sitting there talking? Okay. But the moment you sit back and you listen, and let's just say you know a little something about being a mechanic, or maybe you got the plug on the real mechanic, and you ask them questions, and you be like, hey, is this real? Is this how they're supposed to go? And you start understanding and learning that, oh, you just really trying to get my money. You ain't no real mechanic. You probably going to take it to the real mechanic. You just a middleman. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. You just a middleman. I want y'all to understand something. When you sit back, you actually get to understand how much they really know. And most times, y'all, they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. Think about when the teacher or the professor is giving out an exam. I don't care if it's midterm exams, final exams, a pop quiz exam, whatever. Do the teacher ever give you the answer? Do the teacher ever help you out? Does the teacher ever say, hey, here's a hint? Or do they sit back and figure out what you know? Okay? Do they figure out what you know by just standing back? That's what they do, y'all. All right? And that's the same tactic you got to have, whether you're on the streets, at a job, at a family function, whatever the case is, but you got to have that same mentality. You know what? Let me stop giving them hints. Let me stop giving them more evidence. Let me stop giving them clues. Let me stop finishing off their sentences. All right? All that stuff plays into it, y'all. When you sit back, you shut up, and you understand how to play dumb, even though you know you're highly intelligent, family, you're going to realize how much they know and how much they don't know. All right? Number three, y'all, it's going to be this right here, family. You learn so much more, okay? You learn so much more. Family, when you sit back and you pay attention to the room, all right? Somebody drop in the comments and say, read the room. When you sit back and you pay attention to the room, you get to see who's a capper, who's a liar, who's a manipulator, who's someone is just playing games, who's the person that really run the room, who's really confident, who's really insecure. All right? Like, you really get to pay attention to who's what in a room. When all you doing is talking, when all you doing is woofing, when all you're doing is, telling people how confident you are and telling people how much you have, you're not open to learn anything because you're full of yourself. You follow what I'm saying? This reminds me of the person who is a know-it-all. All right? Listen, family, they can be in a room full of geniuses and knowing that they don't know nearly as much as those geniuses. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to teach the geniuses something. I'm not saying that they don't have anything to teach the geniuses, but for me, if I make 6 figures a year and I'm in a room full of 7-figure earners, 8-figure earners, I'm not going to try to tell them about what I do to make 6 figures. In fact, what I do is irrelevant at this point. I want to learn from people who's making double, quadruple what I make. You follow what I'm saying? I want to learn a lot more. Family, they don't have the same mentality. They don't have these same tactics. They don't understand this. All they know is outshine this person. All they know is out-talk this person. Be the loudest. But just because you are the loudest, it doesn't mean that you're the smartest. It doesn't mean that you're getting the most done. It doesn't mean that you're saying the most. You can be extremely loud, okay? The whole world hear you, but ain't say nothing. You follow what I'm saying? Don't be that person. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. You play dumb and expose the fool. You realize who's the fool now because you're dealing with a know-it-all. You're dealing with a person who can't be chastised. You're dealing with a person who can't be corrected. You're dealing with a person who despises wisdom. You're dealing with a person who don't want to be told anything, okay? And that's how you expose the fool. You play dumb. You follow what I'm saying? Number 4, it's going to be this right here, y'all. You divert attention away from yourself. Okay, you divert attention away from yourself. This right here is going to always be good because I'm not saying that attention can't be used for benefits. All right. Obviously, y'all, if you are a YouTube content creator, Facebook content creator, Instagram content creator, TikTok content creator, you need attention. All right. Especially to make it on these platforms. But when you're just talking about being in a room or any facility, ceremonies and stuff like that, sometimes, y'all, you will get more attention just not bringing attention to yourself, diverting the attention. You know, it shows your character. It shows you being a noble person. It shows your humility. It shows your humbleness. You ever notice how a person who's extremely humble always get more attention on them? It's because it's more attractive when you're like, you know what, man? I know I'm confident, but hey, man, I'm going to put the shine back on you. It makes people want to give you more shine. All right? It's almost like a person who does pretty well financially. However, they're so humble and they're so appreciative that other people with more resources than them, well, I want to bless you anyway. I know you don't need my money, but I just want to bless you anyway. I want to support your business. I want to sow a seed into you. That's the same thing with this right here, y'all. When you divert attention away from you, from yourself, you're going to always expose a fool, all right, not only by playing dumb, but because they're stupid enough to take the attention that's being diverted. They're going to take that attention. They don't know how to use attention. They don't know how to capitalize off of attention without doing anything that's going to sell their soul or to jeopardize their character, their integrity, and who they are. So they're going to take the attention. It's almost like this, y'all. Everybody can't be celebrities, okay? Everybody can't have fortune and fame. Everybody just don't know how to deal with it. It takes me back to the movie, y'all, Love Don't Cost a Thing with Nick Cannon, when he became popular because of Paris Morton. I believe her name was Paris Morton in the movie. But anyway, she was extremely popular. She understood popularity. She understood, being a local celebrity. She understood it. But Nick Cannon didn't. So when she diverted the attention from herself onto him, he crashed out. He exposed himself as being a fool. Now, of course, y'all, the movie got to have a moral, and he became cool because he was himself. But in that moment in time, he exposed himself as a fool. You couldn't deal with the attention that was diverted onto you. Family, what I am saying is that's the same thing with yourself. You cool on attention. You used to guys looking at you. You used to women saying you look handsome. You're used to guys wanting to take you on dates. You're used to women giving you compliments. Like, you're used to this. You follow what I'm saying? But a person who's not, they going to crash out and go crazy. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I'm used to this. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I'm used to this. Number 5, y'all, the last thing is going to be this right here. It gives you more edge, okay? It gives you more edge. This is like knowing something that people should know, okay, but they don't, or knowing something that's about to happen, but people don't know it's about to happen, and you just in your head like, y'all just don't know. Ooh, boy, running finna just finna take off on Rodney, all right? You just don't know. Shirley about to go off on, ooh, boy, you just don't know. And you got that edge so you can kind of sit back and laugh in your head like, they crazy, bro. They don't know what's about to happen. Yeah, family, that's what it does. When you play dumb, not only will you expose a fool, but it's going to give you more edge. It may even give you more confidence, more certainty, because you like, out of all these things that you've been telling me, you still can't even see the fact that I've been studying you. You still can't see the fact that I'm a sponge right now. I'm a sponge. I got all the evidence. I did all my research. I'm a sponge right now. You're the one who's 100% oblivious. All right, family, you played dumb and exposed the fool with this tactic. It gives you edge. Okay, and see, family, they can have the same edge, but they don't listen. They don't pay attention. They're not aware of their surroundings. This is how you expose the fool, y'all, all right, with the edge that you have. But with that being said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and conclude this video. But before we do so, we'll do a recap and then we'll get up out of here. Number 1, y'all, you being quiet caused them to overtalk. Number 2, it shows how much they really know. Number 3, you learn so much more. Number 4, you divert attention away from you. And number 5, y'all, it gives you more edge, okay? With that being said, family, y'all already know how we do. Be sure to go over to the richmentalityattire.com website, get you a Yes Sir t-shirt, Yes Sir hoodie, book a one-on-one session with your boy, and you can check out any one of my books. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.